All right, so the 2024 NHL All-Star Skills Competition has just wrapped up, and we had ourselves some really intriguing results. Now, you don't need me to tell you that Connor McDavid went out there and won the whole thing. He got $1 million, he won a bunch of these competitions, he won the accuracy shooting, the fastest skater, the puck handling competition, as well as the obstacle course. He was by far up and away the best player at this event, and it's not really too surprising. I mean, he went out there and helped form this entire thing in the first place, so the fact that he was a master at his own craft, I don't think anybody should be too surprised. But there were a few extra things that I wanted to talk about in regards to my favorite team, the Vancouver Canucks, a hilarious troll drop done by Nikita Kucherov, the goaltending storylines, and just the overall vibes of the program itself. Now, let's start out with the program, because I actually liked this format of an all-star skills competition much more than what we had seen in previous years. A lot of the other events we have seen the past little while have been so weird, with the digital targets put on the net, the long shots where you got the Kachucks up in the rafters of the stadium trying to toss pucks out, the saucer challenge and the Vegas fountain. Like, a lot of these things were weird as hell, and quite frankly, they weren't really that fun. So getting back to the basics, as Connor McDavid said, I liked seeing a lot of these regular freaking skills get put on display on a regular NHL ice surface, so just seeing a lot of these primal hockey instincts being tested, I thought was a pretty good way to do the event. And the first event that we ended up seeing was the fastest skater competition, where I was actually pretty surprised to see my Vancouver Canucks guy Quinn Hughes go out there and do as well as he did. He came third in the event behind Connor McDavid, who won, and Matthew Barzal, who was in second. So of course, I mean, McDavid's now a four-time champ with the fastest skater. The only time he lost was to that aforementioned Matt Barzal. Quinn Hughes beat Cale Makar by literally like 1/100th of a second. So there you go. That's Quinn beating out Cale from Colorado. And then William Nylander was tossed into the mix as well. The next event was a really interesting one, the one-timer event. And this is kind of where you started to see a little bit of a divergence from what we're used to, because this was a brand new thing. You had each of the players line up on 3 different spots on the wing and take one-timers at the net, with different portions of the net marked out as to giving different amounts of points. And the winner out here was Nathan MacKinnon, who got himself on the board a lot. Pastrnak and Draisaitl were second, Pettersson was fourth, and then you had Nikita Kucherov, who scored 19 points on this competition, putting him up in 5th place. Now, that Nikita Kucherov run was honestly pretty nuts, because he was pretty good, and he did get points in this event, but ever since that one competition, Kucherov just stopped giving an F. Oh my goodness, this guy started trolling the Toronto crowd by not exerting effort into the passing challenge, not exerting effort into the stick handling challenge, and the fans in Toronto were letting him hear it. They were booing like crazy. He was kind of waving to the fans, staring at the fans. You could tell that he was just not in it after the first few passes that he had in the passing challenge went awry. And because Kucherov has this sort of dedication to not really being committed to stuff, he just went out there and lackadaisically skated, killed off the extra time on the passing challenge. He was just kind of purposefully missing, it looked like, at sometimes. And then during the stick handling competition, he was taking his sweet freaking time going around those pylons, eventually dragging it by and scoring too. He only got points in the one-timer event, but other than that, every other event just not a good showcase from Kucherov, and it's almost like he felt that way too. Like, he was like, yeah, I don't really care. Like, I'm just gonna get it over with. Fans, y'all are pissed off at me, that's fine. Hello, Toronto, I'm gonna wave to you. And I get it, you know, people pay money to see this event. People are kind of pissed off when a guy's going out there and not trying. But one guy out of 12 that's going out there and just taking the piss on the entire competition, I found that super entertaining. And at the end of the day, that's what this is for, right? Entertainment purposes. Nikita Kucherov definitely put on a show by getting the heat and becoming the villain for a night. And he ends up with a last place showcase in this entire skills competition at the very, very bottom. Like, it's not even close. He doesn't get any points after that one-timer competition. But there are a few guys that do get more points after, starting out with Cale Makar, who won the hardest shot competition this year with a 102.56 mile-per-hour slap shot. JT Miller was second with a 102.34. EP40 did not break his high of 103 last year. He had 98.4. He was third place, followed by Matthews and Pastrnak. Honestly, the shots were kind of off for the Canucks guys. Miller, even on his 102 mile-per-hour slap shot, he kind of shot it off to the side. It came in at an angle, so if that puck was just going dead set center, it probably would have had a higher number. And for Elias Pettersson, I feel like just watching the slow-mo replay of it, he kind of hit the puck a little bit too late when taking the one-timer. He didn't slap his blade of the stick on the ice early enough to garner enough flex. And that's sort of my non-expert analysis going out there and describing what happened. You could definitely see that Pettersson was very frustrated after that, but the passing challenge that we had talked about earlier with Nikita Kucherov and him fumbling that, hey, EP40 was number 1 and he had 25 out of a possible 30 points, beating out Makar, Barzal, Matthews, and Nylander. So Pettersson, he just went after threes the entire way through, and it worked. He had such a big smile on his face afterwards, only for it to be ripped away after he fumbled the hardest shot. But going over into the next events, stick handling challenge, not too surprised that McDavid ended up winning that. Barzal, Nylander, McKinnon, and Draisaitl followed shortly after. The Canucks guys, I kind of felt bad for Quinn Hughes because he started that stick handling challenge. He skated backwards around the pylons, but nobody else ended up doing so. He was the first guy to do it, and he looked so smooth while doing so, but he had one of the lowest times. I think probably because of that, but either way, he ends up not making the mark. For shooting accuracy, though, you do have 2 Canucks who get up on the board in this one. McDavid wins the shooting accuracy 4 for 4, 9.158 seconds. Auston Matthews gets 4 goals on 5 shot attempts, and he does so in 9.341 seconds, followed up by JT Miller, William Nylander, and Quinn Hughes. Miller actually did a pretty good job, not gonna lie. So, seeing him do as well as he did in the shooting accuracy, hey, it's kind of shades of Brock Boeser, but still, this is a good run for him as well. Not to mention the defenseman in Quinn going out there and doing what he did. Finally, we had ourselves the eliminations, which saw Pastrnak, Draisaitl, Hughes, and Kucherov all get eliminated, followed up by the shootout challenge, which was really interesting to watch. Here you got to see Thatcher Demko go up against Auston Matthews, and honestly, Matthews kind of cooked him, not gonna lie. JT Miller was able to do pretty alright against Jeremy Swayman. Elias Pettersson was not too hot on Jake Oettinger, not gonna lie. He ended up getting eliminated alongside of McKinnon, which led into the final obstacle course challenge, which McDavid took pretty handily. JT Miller also went first for this one, and honestly, I feel kind of bad too because he was one of the lowest times, but still, the fact that JT Miller was one of the final 6 remaining All-Stars in this entire skills competition is kind of nuts when you consider where a lot of people were talking about him just like a day ago. We were seeing other insiders like Frank Saravelli saying like, yeah, people are saying that this entire All-Star skills competition is 11 All-Stars plus JT Miller. Like, it's kind of funny seeing how the Miller discourse has picked up over the past few years, but hey, he was a finalist here in the 2024 All-Star Skills Competition. But also when it comes to Canucks goalies, I wanted to go over one more thing because there was a video circling around of Jeremy Swayman behind the scenes hugging his fellow goaltenders in the locker room. He gives a big hug out to Jake Oettinger. He gives a big hug out to Connor Hellebuck. He even gets one in there with Igor Shesterkin, I'm pretty sure, too. But when he offers a hug to Thatcher Demko, Demko completely snubs him, looks away, and just goes right by. Swayman, unfazed, is able to get hugs with the other goalies, but Demko, nah, dude, you ain't seeing a Canuck hugging a Bruin like that anytime soon. So that was also a really funny moment to pay attention to. All in all, though, I think the biggest thing that I'm going to be remembering from this 2024 All-Star Skills Competition, other than Elias Pettersson winning the passing challenge, was Nikita Kucherov. Man, did that guy put on a show. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this entire All-Star Skills Competition. The review, McDavid ended up winning, not really too surprising there. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to have the game, and I guess we're going to talk about the game tomorrow. I don't know, it's really early, so I don't really know if I'm going to be awake. Yeah, sorry, not going to lie, but yeah, thoughts in the comment section below. I already said I hope you enjoyed this video, so I'll leave you with this, and bye.